Oh,
Notice the silence?
here you go.
Well, you have changed in the past 10 years.
Oh, yeah, this way.
Matured. That's it,
You're more
matured.
seasoned. You're more
And I
seasoned.
got a dent here. Oh, gray here.
Seasoned.
Hi, how are you?
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
just put your agenda, oh, you need one of those too.
Oh, God.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I want to talk about unreal ones.
Hi, I'm here.
You're here. I thought you had baseball.
See?
Fields
Everybody
weren't ready.
remembers baseball.
Mushy.
Fields weren't ready.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's the away team, so we can blame them.
Where was it supposed to be?
Playing field.
Oh,
Don't they have plenty of place to drain?
that's all right.
Yeah, but they have farm fields and they're too busy worrying about their farms right now.
Just about, right.
Just about to start?
Just to confirm.
Really? That's surprising. Which playing field is it?
Central?
Oh, that's the one downtown. That's the oldest of the bunch.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. So that one may not have good drainage. It's right south of downtown.
All right. You're good.
Good, all right.
Perfect.
Well, we're ready to start our Public Works Committee meeting, starting at 5:30. Before we, I'm sorry, 4:30. I'm still on daylight savings time. So 4:30 PM, just for our audience purposes, ask us all please to introduce ourselves, even though we're all very familiar with each other. Alderman Reese, 6th Ward Alderman, Committee Chair.
Rob Pavone, 5th Ward Alderman.
Bob Fate, 4th Ward Alderman.
Nicole Campbell, senior engineer.
Bob Schiller, Public Works Director.
Thank you, everyone. I'm gonna go ahead and open forum. We don't have any visitors at this time. So I'm gonna go ahead and close that and go, call our meeting to order at 4:31. First of all, I wanna thank you all for making yourselves available, so quickly, even though we had our regular meeting last week. I did do some research from the spreadsheet that you can see. I polled our neighboring municipalities to see if they, even offer super blocks. If they do, if there's a fee for any sort, either whether that be a sticker, permit, etc. And then what do they do about guest parking? If that's available, if there's a cost, if not, and then I've added some extra notes just because some information just seemed pertinent to their zoning, I'm sorry, their super zone structure. So just to kind of share some information so that our audience knows, even though the city of Chicago is not our neighboring community, I did add them because they have very specific parking structures, and I was just kind of curious what they charge as a municipality at that level. It's extremely larger than ours. We wanted to have some comparisons to kind of figure out if we would charge, what would we charge compared to other communities. So City of Chicago does charge a $25 zone sticker. And they do charge $8 for 15 guest passes. That's what they request for their residents to have their guests use when parking in super zone blocks. The interesting about them is that their guest passes are only good for a year. So the year that you buy them is the year that they're valid for. So every December 31st, whatever guest passes you have become invalid and you need to purchase new ones. I found that really interesting. That's a great way to, I don't know if they change it up so that they know from year to year what they look like, so that it's not easy to sort of manipulate that structure, but just thought I'd share that with everyone. Oak Park does have some areas that provide zone parking, and their permit cost is $74. They do sell guest passes, and it's $5 for 20 passes. And they have an annual calendar that they follow, and that's July 1st through June 30th. Forest Park, interesting enough, they really don't have super zone parking. They have a lot of 2-hour parking residential areas.
Driveways.
Yeah, so they also enforce no overnight parking. They also enforce renters to pay for parking in specific lot areas. So they don't have super zone at all. So then, again, there's no need for guest passes. What they do for cars that are visitors or require overnight parking of some sort, they're to be called into the police department. Riverside, same thing. They model that same parking structure, no overnight parking. Tenants or renters have to pay into a lot in the municipality. That's not determined by them, but what's available. And since they don't offer super zone, they obviously don't have guest passes either. What they do for their guest visitors though, so for example, if you're having a family member sleep overnight or you're having a party, they have to park in paid meter parking lots. So there's no street parking at all, even for visitors, which I found really interesting. North Riverside, I apologize, I wasn't able to get any information from them, and I was not able to find anything on their website that would be pertinent to our conversation. Broadview models the same parking structure. There is no overnight parking. What they did implement, so therefore they don't have super zones either. What they did implement in 2019 is really interesting. So if you are a resident, and obviously you have to adhere to no overnight parking, if you must park on your block more than 4 times a month, you are able to purchase a permit of $30 a month, which would allow you to park more than 4 times, the allowable 4 times overnight. And your guests don't have to pay any fees as well. Your guests don't have to pay any fees, and you're to call in your guest vehicles to the local police department, so if they're going to be parking on the streets. And then as we know, Berwyn, we do have super zones. Nicole's gonna share some information about that in a minute. And we don't charge any fees, and we pay for 1 free placard per household, along with 1 visitor guest pass. So, Nicole, take it away.
Well, what are you looking for me to share?
Well, do you wanna share how many zones we have? I know we talked about this a while ago, just wanted to put it fresh in everyone's mind, what we're looking at collectively across the city.
Okay, well, each ward has a zone, except for the 5th ward, and the 1st ward has 2 zones. My numbers totaling all the super zones was, it was in last week's packet.
Yellow.
It was
23, 24? something like that?
No, stickers, I think it was
Oh,
1,200.
oh, okay.
1,200 stickers about.
How's that? Talking about blocks possibly?
Many super zones were instituted before I came on board. A couple have been since I've been here, and it's been 14 years. There were petitions passed, parking studies done. There's even been petitions passed around to remove super zones. So, in my experience here, it's gone both ways, but we do try to control it as much as possible, just because it's unequal to residents that are, paying taxes to park. Many times when you move into an area where it is a big collector, such as a park in a school, it was probably there long before you moved in. I do support some sort of zoned area along the railroad tracks and the basin, just because we have all that available parking. And along the railroad tracks, Metro dictates how many spaces we have to have available for 12-hour parking. So there's really no getting around that, and the people that don't wanna buy a pass do park in the neighborhood areas. Even the residents, take advantage of that area as well. I mean, resident Metro riders.
Yes. Berwyn residents from outside of the area, instead of parking in a paid lot, they'll just park in a residential neighborhood. We had that, we showed that on 34th Street too,
Oh, yeah.
between
Oh, yeah.
Grove and Kenilworth. on the south side of the street was signed as residential parking only. That would fill up by 6:30 every day with hospital employees that didn't want to pay for parking. So ultimately, it became such a traffic issue, we were having car crashes and everything through there, that we ended up changing that to 2-hour parking. We get very little parking in there, and the accidents have reduced dramatically.
Oh yeah, your sight distance is wonderful now at that
Yeah,
intersection.
because everybody was trying to cram in there because they didn't want to pay the couple of bucks a day to park.
Yeah, so parked vehicles are a huge sight distance issue.
Questions, comments, anyone? So then the question is, for super blocks, do we wanna change anything about the ordinance? Do we wanna implement some sort of fee? Just to basically cover, some cost. There's obviously minimal cost to us, as far as the sticker's concerned, but giving a free placard and free visitor passes seems, a little above and beyond in comparison to what other municipalities are doing, even for guests, whether they have a super zone or not.
Right now, a super zone gets more benefits than a standard for the same money, including free visitor parking. Because a standard vehicle sticker gets no visitor passes, you have to pay for every book you get.
So Nicole, your total from our last meeting of super zones, vehicles are 1,465.
Okay, I was off.
1465.
So that means, 1465 placards and visitor packs that are given out annually, along with Primo Space.
Do we have to give out those visitor passes with them, or no? Or we just always done it?
Well, in the past, super zones used to get 2 free hang tags.
You used to get 2 hang tags.
Correct, yes,
And we got rid of that.
right, to one.
Went down to 1 and gave them 1 booklet.
Okay.
Nicole, or Bob, do you know why we even offered hang tags at all? What was the
They've
reason
been
for that?
offering hang tags for years
Before I
and years
was
and
here.
years.
I
So
guess
way
they
before
get
your
one on the
time,
street,
I
They,
one in the
they
garage, I
actually
guess,
used to
or-
offer hang tags for every city sticker. But what was happening is people were marketing them and selling them to commuters and what have you, to be able to park annually and, anywhere in town.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah, the hang tags were generic in nature. There was no address on there. There was no indicator of where you should be.
I think they just had a number on it,
Yeah.
possibly.
I don't even remember if originally they even had numbers on. I think it was just a generic. So,
Probably just had our city
That's
logo
why-
and
yeah,
city of Berwyn.
exactly. It would change color, is all it would do.
Mm.
But that's why we've shied away from the hang tags as much, but they still give one away with each of the super zone parking.
And they weren't always hang tags either. They were easily copied, let's say.
Yes, that's correct.
I'm still not able to wrap my head around their purpose, though.
The evolution, the
Yeah, like,
purpose.
what was the
It was
reasoning for that? Like, I don't understand why,
I guess-
especially because the
For
stickers
overnight
already.
visitors.
For
Yeah.
people,
Those are overnight visitors.
if somebody had, visitors come over for a gathering or Bridge Day or whatever, they would give them a hang tag hanger and park out in front without a vehicle sticker and.
Because
all
that's
that.
fit more for daytime versus the guest
Sometimes.
passes are for overnight.
The guest, well, and the hang tags. The hang
Hang
tags
tag
were
was
for
overnight.
visitors for overnight as well.
And plus, you're supposed to have a vehicle sticker in Berwyn, whether it's from some other community. Every car has to have a vehicle sticker. Where some visitors would come from unincorporated whatever, and they didn't get vehicle stickers, they would get a ticket. Cause
So-
all cars had to have stickers.
So I'm just kind of going through the process in my mind. So is it logical to move away from the hang tags and just use guest passes all day long? Is that logical, or
That's,
does that make
it's
sense?
it's
Does
an
that make
option.
sense?
It's
or
definitely an option.
do we feel like the,
But you're saying to use
The hang
guest
tag.
pass, like you use a guest pass
yeah,
for the super block, for the people that are parking there?
well, they're guests.
Oh, they're guests.
So whether
Oh,
their
yeah,
guests
yeah,
are
yeah.
parking daytime, nighttime, it's irrelevant, they just need one of the guest passes where you write in.
But then technically could somebody just then, that lives like the block down or 2 blocks down, park on that block then with the guest pass if they were staying over? Wouldn't that be?
With the hang tag, you're saying?
Without a hang tag? If we were saying we didn't need the hang tag anymore? Then someone like down the
They
street.
don't need a hang tag now.
You got a
why
point, they
that's-
park there, throw the guest pass in, and say,
Right, and then-
I'm visiting on this block.
Right,
Right,
without the hang tag.
correct. Yet we give out passes to use at night on those blocks,
So
so.
it's a special,
It's,
yeah.
it's
How
the
do you
same
prefer-
pass, it's the
Yeah,
same,
right.
it's the same visitor pass as you get when you get your
Correct.
stickers and everything else, so.
Correct.
We have that, they have that ability now.
So.
Right,
maybe-
because if I have 3 how do you know how many visitors I have?
You
I can
don't.
just throw
Correct.
that on there.
So at least with that hang tag, you know it belongs on that block, I guess, right?
Well, on the passes, you're supposed to write the address.
Of who you're visiting.
Correct, but.
Yeah, but I still don't
Nobody's
feel
gonna
like,
go to the
I don't
door and
feel like the
check.
hang tag has a strong
Well,
relevance in this
You know it
situation.
belongs to that super block then, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So.
But
Then
if
you
you
know
have
that
2
car is
visiting
full.
at the same time, you're still gonna use a guest
Correct.
pass.
Correct.
So it's kind of almost redundant to me, it seems like, a hang tag and guest pass. Unless we just sell hang tags and not have super blocks use
Not have them use.
guest passes.
The booklets?
Yeah,
Well, then somebody could just live off of a hang tag.
Correct.
The booklets, you have to fill them out for each night.
It has to be one every day, you can only use them, they're daily, they expire daily.
but wouldn't you be able to follow that just by a plate and a make and model? I mean, if you see the same car parked every day, the same Buick with XYZ plate number, I mean, that's not hard to figure out it's the same car, right? I don't know, I'm just playing the devil's
You
advocate
get
here.
different people
I don't
all the
have a
time
ticket
at
book.
night.
I cannot
Oh,
write tickets.
yeah. I see. If it's a different person, it's a different ticket book, it's hard to track.
That would be on the enforcement side of things.
Correct.
Okay?
I'm
I'm
okay
all
with
the answers
keeping
to
it
my
as
questions.
is, you know, if you wanna give the hanger and the book still, or just a hanger and charging some sort of fee.
Do you have a fee in mind?
I mean, we had thrown around 20 or 25, I believe we did. And do we just give that with a hang tag and skip the books, or include the books?
I say skip the books. I mean, the rest of the city's purchasing them, I don't understand why a super black would get them for free.
Yeah.
Got thoughts, Rob?
No, I'm good with that.
And numbers?
I mean, just looking at this, I was thinking in that range of like between 20 and 30,
Okay,
because it is like a really good deal to have that privilege, but
yeah, it is a privilege. So, Alicia? What are you thinking, Chairman? Chairwoman?
Well, I'd like to start with the $25
Okay,
mark. I would also like to remove visitor passes as a gift,
okay, but we still give the one hang tag.
Well, I think we need to have a
I think we
hang
need
tag
that, yes.
available.
I
It
think
sounds
we need
like-
that to each house, that's.
Right, it sounds like we do, so I would say they would still, So the charge is $25 and you get, and that's kind of basically paying for the hang tag,
25,
so to
no
speak.
booklet, and a hang tag.
Now, the big question is this going back to the beginning of time so that everyone already that currently has a super block is affected by this, or is this just something moving forward?
I think you have to roll people into it. You're asking if we like grandfather folks, like if they don't have to
Right.
pay? Yeah, I mean, how often are people requesting super blocks these days? In terms of us
They
getting ones?
rarely.
It's rare, right?
No, they request them all the
But
time,
it's rarely like.
but it's rarely approved.
But this
You
25
have
would
four-
be per household, correct?
Per
sticker.
vehicle, per sticker. So if you have 4 cars, it's 4 times 25. It's
Oh,
per
because you're saying you
sticker.
have 1,465
Vehicles.
vehicles.
In super
Right.
zones.
Okay, so they would be per, okay, I thought it was just a possible one time, it's per vehicle.
Per vehicle.
Is that
Gotcha.
right?
Per car? Because you're saying per vehicle, right?
Yeah,
That's how many vehicles are out there?
yep, 1,465.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's about, so $36,000.
Why, what's the thought behind grandfathering in? I mean, we don't grandfather in people that bought vehicle stickers at $25.
I'm just throwing the question
No,
out
I
there.
understand.
Me personally, I don't think there should be a grandfather clause in there. I think it should be effective across the city for this. Our whole reasoning for having the meeting now is so that this would be effective with the new
Correct,
sticker cycle
correct,
coming
there's no
up in May.
grandfather clause.
I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. I don't want to assume that my thought is everybody's thought, so that's why I threw it out there.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to kind of get a consensus from everyone that they feel the same way.
Is there a way that we can do, some specific like outreach, by the city, since we know exactly where these blocks are, just to give them the heads up?
Such as a letter after
Yeah,
this?
the letter, yeah.
If we pass this at council?
Yeah.
I don't see why not, that can't be that difficult, or is it, Nicole, and not in your department, so.
I don't know if our communications team could help.
Or it'd be
We
difficult
could
to
get,
put,
we could put together
had
a
to go
generic
out
letter and
with
maybe
the-
each alderman can deliver.
yeah, cause that doesn't seem like very much, yeah.
Well,
See,
maybe,
Rob gets a get out of jail free. He doesn't have any.
But I wouldn't mind
Help some folks.
passing them out, yeah.
so question, does anyone know when the next water bill goes out?
But
Is
it
that-
only- it's only a third of the city, so
Well,
you've
it's a
got
third,
3
yeah.
months and you don't have enough time to get.
There's a
around to
rotation,
water.
third, so.
Okay, with the vehicle sticker information we have now, there is a way to sort out zone people.
Oh,
You can,
Yeah.
they can be sorted.
So you can warn them in advance if you wish, or, do a pass out. of
A drop
notices.
letter,
Either do a drop or do it in a mailer.
well, it could be all of the above, right? I mean, if aldermen choose to do the outreach, because we have one block, super block per ward,
Mhm.
so it's not gonna be hard to hit one block
Mhm.
to do a drop in the mailbox of some sort, or direct
Well, yeah.
contact, it's up to us.
And this way you could give feedback, positive or negative. Maybe some people don't even want the super zone, or some do, and they could, get together and re-vote upon it if they wish.
Petition to rescind it.
Yes, I mean, we took, we removed one in the first ward. There were talks about, this one that shares
Wesley,
yeah.
25th and Wesley.
Cause
Right,
it
right
was,
over-
it was
yeah,
there
right over
because
here.
that's where the
Police
police
That's where the
department
police station used to be, and
be.
it's never gone
100
away
years ago.
because they said
But
they didn't want it to go
I
away.
talked to a few and they're saying the restaurants are causing issues now on 26th Street here, so I don't know.
Okay.
But,
And,
but that's just a handful, but I only have one side of that.
yeah.
Well, here's the thing too, when the fee starts coming into place, it's interesting how some individuals may change their mind that it's not really necessary. Just always seems to work that
Yeah,
way.
it may not be as important as they thought it was.
Yeah, I just think it would be nice for us to come up with a communication plan,
I have no problem with that.
just so that people know what's going on, and then that way they're not surprised at the
Right,
front.
because they'll be getting notified, May 15th with their regulars?
Actually, the mailers will probably go out mid-April.
So, are you gonna need to change these mailers then, or no, we won't have to change them?
I am not sure about the mailers. But, you know, once something is approved with council, generating letters,
It's not a problem?
Shouldn't be a
Okay.
big deal.
we
I think
generate
let's go that
letters
route.
for all types of programs.
Let's go that route if we can.
So I can put that in the communication, you know, strategies of, marketing it.
You
and
say we
making
can sort it,
residents
let's-
aware.
Yeah, but, I mean, that's how I came up with the numbers.
Okay.
Cause even though it's 1,465 vehicles, that does not mean that's 1,465 houses.
No,
Right.
no way.
It's probably
No,
Or
less
even
than half of
vehicles.
that.
400 to 500 homes maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
All right, so then it'll be Alderman handouts if they choose the letter provided by City Hall.
Sure.
We'll get everything
We can
taken
do,
care of, and then we'll put them on a,
engineering could mail them too, right?
they can be thrown up here.
Nicole
and there.
says it doesn't seem like much of a problem.
Yeah. Just have a quick question for you.
Okay.
Oh, did you call
I
her too?
know, she was,
Yeah, no, that's what I
Yeah.
wanted to ask.
What?
Should I ask him?
oh.
Oh, you don't know.
No.
I
you
thought
were-
he knew.
So Claudia, I
Yes.
apologize for dragging you
No,
in
no
last
problem.
minute, but thank you very much for giving us a couple of minutes. We're just kind of brainstorming here. We're
You-
going to be changing super block regulations a little bit. The
Okay.
primary change is going to be that there's now gonna be a $25 fee that never existed, plus the idea of a free placard and one package of visitor passes. We're actually gonna remove the free visitor package. So we're trying to get ahead of the game of notifying these super block residents, which
Okay.
there's only one block per ward. So there's not a lot to get to, but we're trying to think of some strategies on getting this information out sooner than later, so that it's not such a shock when individuals come to get their vehicle stickers in May. So one thing that we thought of, and we really wanna pick your brain, cause you're our communications guru, is one, there could be a letter generated, that aldermen can drop off themselves, because it is only one block per ward. But then also, you know, we wanna keep the communications going so that, you know, we hopefully reach everyone instead of missing some.
Sure, so
You're
what about a strategic ENS, an emergency notification system? That's when, we have the ability. Now, what I can do is I can show this to Wayne's Door, who manages that system, and he'll be able to identify if there's people within these areas, because as you guys know from other emergency systems, it can go down to certain specific areas. So if
Okay.
there is any subscribers currently, it'll, identify and then go through the block, and it'll be just one added venue of, communication. So can definitely do the letters, and, Bob, I think that we can also populate, probably this is small enough for water service, where it would be like maybe even through that portal, through the address portal, so that we can, is that something that we can excel, we can, try it out?
They can pull
the addresses?
the addresses can be pulled from the vehicle sticker.
Yes, from the vehicle sticker file of the
Yeah.
water, okay. So we can do, to make sure that, you know, these areas,
There's the
targeted.
ability to pull
Mhm.
pull the address by vehicle sticker code, which
perfect.
then you get all of that for addresses.
Okay.
And then maybe even creating for the upcoming,
She's on a mission.
sticker season, including it in the,
I got answers.
frequently
Okay.
asked questions. Right now, we have an FAQ forms
All that.
of frequently asked questions for city vehicle stickers. So, is this something that, Jeanette was included on, do we know, or is this, it just happened right now? Just breaking-
We're in the conversations of it right
Okay,
now.
so I just asked because then, you know, perhaps including Jeanette so that they have something as well, just to revisit that whole FAQs, because parking is a big part of the city vehicle sticker FAQs. People want to know that,
Okay.
so we can update the FAQs, we can strategize an ENS, a letter, and we can make sure that it's direct through each one of the addresses.
Okay.
I don't necessarily think that this is something that would need to go huge, if the area is small enough that I don't think we need a social media campaign, but we can definitely post something on, on the website,
Included with the full vehicle sticker.
Yes, we were
Social
just saying that
medias,
we're gonna
if they
update the,
want to do that, then that can be part of it,
yep.
but not individual.
Correct.
You don't have to do it individual.
So once you guys have, once that happens, that usually goes out, obviously, during the May season. When does vehicle sticker, I should have it
May
in my,
15th.
May 15th
15th
is when they
is
start
the-
selling.
the online one.
The
So
stickers
maybe
go
if you
out in
guys have
April.
it, by end of April at the latest, we can work with that to include it as part of the regular campaign, so that folks, everybody knows whether you live in this area or not, that's what's happening.
Okay, well, our plan is to get it to,
Just these.
console for approval, to see
Okay.
if it goes through. If it goes through, then I'll just kinda add your notes in my communication about how to get the information out.
Yep, so once that happens with you guys at council, that you'll let me know, and then we'll immediately put that into action.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you. I
Awesome.
appreciate your
Can,
time.
will you send this to me as well digitally, or somebody has it?
I have it.
You have it? Okay.
Okay.
I'll leave it.
Okay,
You can
thank
take that
you.
with you.
Take it? Okay, I will.
You can have it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Claudia.
Sure.
The proofs for the vehicle sticker applications will not be started until the 22nd
Of April,
of March,
of March.
based on, talks of price changes. They held off down there,
Oh, okay.
Okay,
so
but do we have to include this on there, or it's not necessary?
I think it would have to be part of it, cause it's.
Is it on there now? Or no, obviously not.
It's not because
No.
super zones don't
Right,
cost
correct,
anything
I'm sorry.
different.
No, it doesn't even say anything about super zones, right?
yeah.
Would they just be treated differently?
No, there actually is a zone section here that comes up, so
They can include it there.
they can include a note right there.
There we go.
So would that be enough time? Cause our next meeting is
It's
it
the 22nd,
It's the 22nd.
Right.
that's why they're
We
holding
approve
off.
it that day, they have it the next morning.
Okay.
It's crunch time.
It is. I kinda feel like a heel now, kind of putting this on them last minute. I don't know how much additional work that would be for them to add this change now. Well, I mean, it's still that and the veterans one, so I guess it doesn't matter, right? It's gonna be the same.
No, and it's, contracted out to a third party.
This goes to a printer.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
we've done crazier things in less time.
This is true, very true. All right, then, so then do I have a motion?
Motion to make the changes, add the $25 fee, remove the free, extra pack of visitor passes. And then, ensure that there's a communication strategy that includes, a letter, ENS system, potential shorthand letter for aldermen to pass out, FAQs, website, and the vehicle sticker change, or the price change to be included in the larger vehicle sticker social media campaign.
For
I'll
2022?
second that, but we'll also include in there the hang tag,
Oh
or,
yeah, the hang tag, sorry, yeah.
that's okay, so I'll second it with the hang tag in there.
Okay, got it. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right,
All right,
Did you last time
Did I miss
change the
something?
price of the booklet?
Booklets,
Cause remember we were talking about the
we're
booklets, the
barely
books are,
breaking even.
the books are $4.97 to
Right.
print. At least they were 2 years ago.
do we wanna talk about, I know we have sort of skated over that conversation numerous
Yeah,
times.
Do you wanna let it be this year and look at it next year? Do you wanna do it all at once?
that could be started anytime, correct?
Right.
It's not like a drop deadline, cause people buy those all year long.
Well, I mean, we do have, they do buy them all year
So, cause we
long.
don't have that on the agenda,
They use
but
some-
we can still talk about it, or no?
We can, or you can decide, cause we do have that guest pass information here, but you know what, I think we got enough changes for right
I
now.
think right now, we can maybe
Let it be
implement,
maybe towards the end of the year or something.
implement that by June 1st or something, or July first, halfway through the year.
Because we do have to talk about the
Not till
structure
after
for
the vehicle
2020.
And maybe
sticker
by
season, if
then,
you're
we
not
can
gonna do
see
it
what
at the
we're actually
beginning.
paying for those things.
Yeah, we'll get a price in when they get this vehicle stickers in, but once you start the season, you don't wanna change the price until
Do we
after the
go to,
season's over.
Like, I don't know if you brought that up, a color-coded system that every year changes.
Yeah,
That's a discussion.
we can.
And that might be better for the officers or the parking people.
It's easier to notice, right?
It's
Well, but they
green,
don't,
it's yellow, it's, I don't know, but it's at nighttime, so.
The hang tags, they do that
Yeah.
with the,
Oh, yeah.
with the paper passes.
They've been the same since day one.
But they don't expire at the end of the year. They have non-expiration,
Like,
so
I think she
you
was
can
saying
buy them in
Chicago.
2020
expired.
and use it in 2023.
Right,
And
so I don't know, but maybe we should just leave that.
so, yeah, no, it's one of those things, they're paying the same in 2020 and
Right, what's the
2022.
difference? Yeah,
So
what's
it
the
doesn't really matter.
But then
Okay.
also with Chicago and Oak Park, I don't know what their permits are made of. Our permits are made of, they can't copy paper, so if somebody tries to copy them, it's
Oh,
like
really?
a check.
Okay, cool.
Oh, okay.
It comes up with all
So
kinds of
that's,
goofy
that's why
stuff.
ours may be a little more expensive to manufacture than other cities.
It's vandal resistant.
Okay. Well, if there's no other comments or discussions, I'd like to close our meeting, adjourn. Do I have a motion?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate your.
5:05.
I told you to be short. I promised.
All right, thank you.
Thank you
Can I
for
have
your
this?
time.
Of course, there's extras. I have all types of maps.
Ooh.
So I'll get the communications ready and then get that on our, submit it by Friday for the agenda on Tuesday.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your week.
Bye-bye.
You too, thank you.
Bye now.